Hi there, everybody. Keith Schweigert and Jeff Reinhardt here from Lanksports.com, recapping the first round of the District 3 football playoffs. The second season of high school football got underway tonight. Several games involving Lancaster-Lebanon League teams, and we're going to run them all down for you, starting in Quad A with the game that Jeff was at, the Section 1 rematch between Manheim Township and Wilson. And Jeff, first time these two teams ran into one another back earlier in October. Township stayed close.
Yes.
This time, not so much.
Not so close. I told you last week, Wilson's good. They're really good. 48-21 Wilson. It's not even nearly that close. Bulldogs led 42-0 at the half. Outgained Township 357-12 in the first half.
Yeah, that's not good.
15 first downs for Wilson, 0 first downs for Township in the first half. Township had 6 possessions in the first half, 5 3-and-outs, and an interception.
Ouch.
Bulldogs are great. They're just playing awesome. Rodney Gillen, 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. Connor Mathias touched the ball 3 times, a pick 6 and 2 touchdown catches.
It's good for the old average.
Yeah, Wilson just stomped them. Township got 3 touchdowns late against the freshman team, basically for Wilson. Wilson had all of its starters out after the half. Wilson cruised, and they'll get Cumberland Valley next. Third year in a row they'll play them. Cumberland Valley beat them on a Hail Mary last year. Wilson beat Cumberland Valley in the district final in 2008, so it's District 3 playoffs. Cumberland Valley plays Wilson somewhere in there every year.
Yeah, quick note, Cumberland Valley knocked off 10-seeded Spring Grove 35-21 tonight. So, as you mentioned, the Eagles and Wilson going at it again.
Yep.
Let's have a look at some of the other Quad A games involving LA League teams. McCaskey goes down against Red Lion by a point.
14-13. I guess McCaskey led 7-0. Red Lion then scores 2 unanswered. A blocked extra point was the difference. I don't know how much time was left, but Red Lion survives on a blocked extra point. They held the Tornado to 109 yards and 6 first downs. Good D.
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought McCaskey would be able to move the ball on them a little bit. If anything, I thought McCaskey's defense would be the ones holding Red Lion. But I know that game, it was tied at 7 at halftime. Red Lion was up a touchdown going into the fourth quarter. So McCaskey scored in the fourth, couldn't get the extra point converted.
If you would have told me Red Lion would score 14 tonight, I would have said McCaskey would have won.
Yeah,
I probably would have. Next up, Central Dauphin 42, Warwick 7. Rams crushed the Warriors. Crank out 373 yards. They led 28-0 at half. Hold Warwick to 166 total yards. So Warwick's season is done.
Yep. And of course, top-seeded Dallastown ends the dream for Conestoga Valley.
Yeah, my homer pick didn't work out so much. Dallastown 28, CV 14. It was 21-14 in the second half. Dallastown tacks one on in the fourth quarter. Diener a touchdown run and a touchdown pass for CV. Neither team went over 300 offensive yards, so kind of a defensive kind of a game. Bucks are done. One beats the 16 in Quad A. Don't forget, on Saturday, Penn Manor will be at Harrisburg. I'll get you a live blog from that game. Lanksports.com at about 1 o'clock on Saturday. We'll see if the Comets can beat the short-handed Cougars.
There you go. Moving on to AAA, and the game that local fans have been clamoring for is going to come to pass in the Be Careful What You Wish For department for Lancaster Strasburg.
Well said.
Pioneers and Barons both win in the first round. Jeff, tell us about it.
Big. We figured this one would be ugly, and it was. Manheim Central 64, Dover 14.
Yikes.
430 yards for the Barons. Chase Moyer, 2 touchdown runs, 2 touchdown passes. Devon Lee, the freshman, 2 touchdown runs. 43-0 Barons at the half. Ow. They'll play at LS next week. They get the rematch. LS big over Big Spring. We figured this one would be kind of ugly. It was 41-13. Mike McNellis, 3 touchdown runs. It's a different kid in the backfield every week for LS. This week it's Mike McNellis, 3 touchdowns. Christian Del Rossini, pick 6 for 35 yards. The 2 seed moves on. LS 41-13 big over Big Spring. And here we go. Sort of the upset of this bracket. Cocalico 28, West York 21. Austin Hartman, 3 touchdowns. Cocalico moving on.
Absolutely. Great effort by them. I know Hartman had 169 yards and 2 scores at halftime.
Wow.
So he obviously tacked on some yardage there in the second half.
Yep.
This was one of those back-and-forth games. I was getting updated by our guy out at the game there. It was Cocalico by 7 going into the fourth quarter, and they tack on an insurance touchdown going down the stretch to win the game, pulling away. So congratulations, Eagles.
Right.
Nice
And
effort.
for the 3rd year in a row, they'll get Susquehanna Township.
Yeah, and the results haven't been so great for Cocalico against Hannah. Last year it was 50-32.
Sounds right.
And Hannah beat him again a couple years before that. So hopefully Cocalico can get that weight off of their shoulders this week and maybe pull off another upset, because it would be one. Hannah will be favored.
So all three AAA teams from the LL move on. AA Catholic 56, Schuylkill Valley 21. You were at this game. Do tell.
I was. It was a pretty good effort for Catholic. They got gouged a little bit on some deep passes, which is a bit of a concern for the coaching staff. The first touchdown was a 78-yard pass play, busted coverage, and a bad busted coverage. It looked like both defensive backs played a short receiver, let the long receiver go flying through the secondary untouched. There was no Crusader within 30 yards of him when he caught the pass. 70-yard touchdown. Fortunately for Cocalico for Lancaster Catholic at the time, they were up 21-0, and Schuylkill Valley got it to 21-14 on their next possession. They had Catholic pinned deep in the kickoff. Catholic got a punt, short field. They plug it in and score. Looks like all of a sudden we have a game. No. Ensuing kickoff, Charles Swigert goes, I believe it was 82 yards to the end zone, and Catholic just rolled after that. Scary moment in the second half, though. Roman Clay, the sophomore running back who was back in the lineup and had 207 yards and 2 touchdowns on, I believe, 11 carries tonight. Starters were still in there for Catholic early in the fourth quarter of a mercy rule shortened game. Clay takes a helmet to the thigh, limped off the field. It looked kind of scary for Catholic fans when he was hurting, because he was obviously in a lot of pain. But from what I hear in reports after the game and talking to Coach Harbach, it's just a Charlie horse thigh bruise kind of thing. He'll be fine for next week. When Lancaster Catholic gets Wyomissing.
Some upsets in this bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. Wyomissing pulls off an upset. They knock off the Lone Catholic 28-21, and the bigger upset,
big one, probably the night, quite frankly.
Second-seeded Littlestown goes down to Bermudian Springs,
and they went down
37-0. Yeah, and I know, talking to Coach Harbach after the game and some of the Catholic players, apparently there had been some chatter going on from the Littlestown area about how much they wanted to see Lancaster Catholic. Didn't take care of business in the first round. They're done. Let that be a lesson to Lancaster Catholic. I mean, they weren't really threatened in this game, especially after the second quarter, but can't overlook anybody. And Wyomissing just pulled off an upset themselves. Catholic's going to be heavily favored next week, but again, you can't overlook anyone at this stage of the game. But I don't think they will.
Brandon Hollister had 4 touchdowns for Catholic. Clay gets a lot of pub, but this Hollister kid, he averages almost 10 yards a pop, 4 touchdowns.
Hollister had 4 rushing touchdowns. He also had a touchdown catch in the first quarter as well. And I believe it was 9 carries. He was well over 100 yards and had 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
So, and that's the scary thing about Catholic. Both Clay and Hollister are underclassmen, so they're going to be back next year.
Yikes.
They're leading the way this year. I mean, it's a spooky backfield with those two in there, because both of them, in their own way, are very good running backs. Clay's more of a power guy. He has speed, but he doesn't mind running into people.
Yeah, lower his shoulder.
Hollister, same kind of deal. He was breaking tackles left and right tonight. Very good effort by the Crusaders.
Scary.
Got to shore some things up in that secondary a little bit. They've shown that they can be passed on a little bit, but as Coach Harbach said after the game, when they want to turn it on, they just turn it on, and they're tough to stop, and that was the case tonight.
56. 2 more things. The single A game. Steel High 41, Columbia 32. Crimson Tide led this game 18-0. Coughed it up in the second half. Steel High, I think, had 0 at the half, so they get 41 points in the second half.
18-0 at halftime, and Columbia gets outscored 41-14 in the second half. And the Achilles heel for Columbia all year has been their defense. Apparently, Steel High's defense struggles mightily throughout the year as well. We knew this one was going to get some points scored.
Yes, we did.
It was 73 total points in this one. We did predict a shootout. Unfortunately for Columbia, they come out on the wrong end of it, but a nice effort nonetheless.
Yeah, good comeback season for them. They were 0-10 a year ago. Okay, last thing. Penn Menor score for Saturday, but Cumberland Valley at Wilson, Manheim Central at LS, Cocalico at Susquehanna Township, and Wyomissing at Catholic. That's your Friday slate next week.
Yep, and I know, Jeff, you're going to be blogging live from the LS Manheim Central game,
check
so
that
look
game
for that one. I'll probably stick with Lancaster Catholic, frankly. The Crusaders are rolling here, looking to get back to the finals and knock off that third straight district crown.
Amazing.
So far, I haven't seen anything that tells me that they're going to get stopped on the way to their finals, but again, that's why they play the games.
Surely, got to play them. There you go.